And we are back. Yes, and I did fix the headphone problem. So if you catch that previous live video, it's going to be hilarious. Man, my screen actually went out. So I could not even see what was taking place on the screen. My screen froze. My headset went out. I had to reboot my computer. That was the solution to the problem. Is I had to restart my computer. We are here with the Crypto Kid TV, and we're talking. The discussion right now is the market is taking a crypto dump. It happens all the time. Earlier today in Crypto Kid TV, I discussed how speculators were using the tensions between Iran and Israel as an opportunity to dump Bitcoin on the market and drive the price down. Now, the ironic part about this is Israel has been in tensions with the people in the Middle East, Syria and Lebanon, since last October 7th. So it's been 12 months that there has been tension between Israel, Lebanon, and Syria. And let's add Iran. Iran has refused to engage over the last 12 months, despite the fact that some of the rockets from Israel has landed into Iran territory. And they, for the last 12 months, they have refused to engage this provocation because, as Israel stated, their intention was to go after Hamas. Well, somehow it expanded into Hezbollah, and they needed to now go into Syria and Lebanon. And they could only do that if they felt they had the support of the United States. So now they decide to provoke Iran, and they would not do that unless they were guaranteed backup support by the United States. And so they finally said, hey, we're going after Hezbollah, whatever the reason they came up with. They finally launched missiles into Iran. And lo and behold, what happened? Iran responded finally. And speculators are using this opportunity to dump Bitcoin back on the market, which makes no sense because there's been tension in this region for the last 12 months and the last 12 years. So I want to help you, Bitcoin enthusiasts, not get sucked into these games that these market speculators are playing. That's why I call this the crypto dump. I've been trading for more than 30 years and I've been caught up in this. I've lost a lot of money when speculators do this. And it was a learning experience to not be in the market and to guard closely how to put stop losses when this happens. Because if you have a position and then you have some investment banker or some hedge, it's mainly caused by hedge fund investors. They have enough market power that they can purchase large blocks of commodities, stocks, Bitcoin, speculative instruments, options, and then they can dump and tank the price of a stock, a commodity quickly. And then you may have to, hedge fund investors can tank the price of a commodity within 24 to 48 hours. And it may take 18 months for that commodity to rebound in price. At that time, they've moved the investment, or I shouldn't say investment banker, the hedge fund investor has moved on to some other project. So you need to understand that hedge fund investors are big fish. They generally manage more than $1 billion in assets. And you and I are in the market. with our $500, our $1,000, our $5,000. We are at the mercy of these big market makers. So I encourage you to go online, do your research, and find education out there on investment AI software. Don't get scammed, but there is legitimate software out there that is driven by AI, and you need that because you need AI, artificial intelligence, to help you spot these hedge fund investors who are tanking the market. Now, the SEC has attempted to indict these people for doing it because it's known as churning. However, when they requested the data from the transactions that had at least 10 large investment banker or trading houses involved in it, somehow the facility that stored the data exploded and caught on fire, and all of the data that incriminated these investment houses was destroyed. So we already know what that's about. So the SEC has tried to put a stop to this. However, every time they get close to these market makers in their illegal activities, the evidence somehow gets destroyed. And so this is the continuous cycle that you need to understand as a crypto enthusiast, as a Bitcoin trader, that you are at the mercy of these larger market makers and you need to be ahead of the game. So the fact that there's tensions in the Middle East, there's been tensions in the Middle East for the last 12 months, for the last 12 years, for the last 20 years. And the only thing that's happened as the internet has evolved, which allows us more connectivity, more faster access to news, better abilities to put transactions in a faster manner. But the whole thing is Bitcoin is not tied to any of the surrounding regions, the surrounding countries' currency. Bitcoin is its own currency. So don't fall for the hype. Don't fall for the traps of these market makers, these speculators. They thrive off of chaos. It's sad. I'm going to say this, that I call them bear market makers. And I consider a bear market trader a manic, a person who suffers from mania, which is excited behavior in rhetoric based upon some notion or idea. And if you're ever around a bear market trader, these people are pacing in the office, and all they talk about as soon as they get in the office, man, the market's about to tank. I can tell crude oil is about to go up the roof, man, or you better get out now. It's about to tank. And you're just like, says who? But they come up with this, and then they keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. Now, if they're an investment banker or a hedge fund investor, they actually have enough purchasing power to make that happen. And when they do make that happen, you and I are at their mercy. So I'm going to repeat this. Don't worry about this. This is something just passing. If in fact Bitcoin does drop down to the price of 54,000 US dollars, you should see that as a perfect buying opportunity. Okay, buy on the dip. If the bear market makers in their mania, they want to spread their mania. Oh, the market is going down because Israel and Iran are at war and stuff like that. Man, we're about to go into Q4. Right now, the United States is recovering from a hurricane in the southeast, mainly in North Carolina. We have the presidential election coming up between Donald Trump, who has a 30-point lead ahead of Kamala Harris. We are focused on Q4 Christmas buying season. Hey, I'm not concerned about right now what they're doing in the Middle East. They can continue to do that. I'm concerned about Christmas. I'm not aware of what those people are concerned about, but I'm not going to allow those people in their tension in the Middle East to destroy my Christmas, which is coming up. Like if you walk in the stores now, the Dollar Tree and Costco have already had Christmas items out for the last 3 weeks. So that is our focus, a strong Q4. Don't panic. Hold your position. I'm just sitting here on the sidelines. I'm not doing anything. I'm not responding to any of these headlines. And you shouldn't either. Do not get sucked into their frenzy and hysteria and then start selling all of your Bitcoin. Hold on to what you have is what I'm doing, is holding on to what I have. And then what I'm going to do is, in fact, if the market dips the way the bear people are talking, I'm going to buy more. So go ahead, tank the market. It's just a great buying opportunity for me as we go into Q4. I'm not trying, but I'm focused on closing out Q4 here, making some big money, not losing money, because let's go back to Warren Buffett. First rule of making wealth, don't lose money. Second rule, remember the first rule. So I'm not worried about losing money, losing my wealth. I'm focused on building wealth. And that is why I just stopped when I saw all the headlines. And I've taken some time out of my day to record this live podcast. And, normally we're airing at 12:30 Mountain Time. 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So I've already recorded the Crypto Kid podcast earlier today. And now I'm seeing the headlines and I see that these, just like you have fake news media on television, now you have the same thing in the investment social media. Now you have speculators that are trying to create buying frenzies or selling frenzies by publishing a lot of negative information on social media. Therefore, be careful. That's why this podcast is all about crypto education, to make you aware of how to have sound financial investments, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's stock options, whether it's other commodities. We're going to begin interviewing security experts, people who are licensed, people that are traders, not just in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrencies, but also in stock options. That's where I've made most of my money. Being transparent, I've made most of my money in stock options. I've made some good money doing trading gold bullion in foreign currencies, but I've made most of my money trading American stock options, and I'm proud of that. Now I'm focused on cryptocurrency. I see where the future has been going for the last 6-7 years, and this is a part of my research. And I want to protect the average person who's online not to get sucked into these Bitcoin scams, these people trying to get you to trade on their platforms. Don't get sucked into these airdrop hysterias. I mean, there's just so much. And I'm an expert. I've been studying this for 7 going on 8 years, and I have them targeting me. So if they're targeting me, they're definitely targeting you. Let's be safe out there, kids. Let's not get sucked into all these financial frenzies. Let's have a strong and happy Q4. This is the Crypto Kid on the Crypto Kid podcast signing out. And don't worry about it, but also don't forget, the future is crypto.